Welcome back to Varsity Extra's 2013 football previews. The Basha Bears of Chandler are next on our list. A team that went 7-4 and lost in definitely one of the better first-round playoff games last year. I think it was 35-28 against Desert Vista. So that's kind of a tough first-round draw for anybody, let alone a team that had the kind of talent that Basha does. They've got a pretty good amount of talent coming back, but especially at the quarterback position, we'll get to that in a second. The big question is JT Gray transferring up, originally trying to go to Hamilton. That doesn't work. He enrolls at Basha. Suddenly they add another dynamic athlete to this mix. How does he fit into Bernie Buskin's plans?
I think anytime you get a guy like that, he fits in perfectly because that's the guy you want. You give him the ball all the time. You put him in spots defensively to make plays. He's a two-way guy, running back, defensive back, who I think he might be the best player in the East Valley, especially being a skill athlete like that, a running back. It's a great addition for them. It makes them so explosive offensively. With him and Rajon Merriweather, that's probably the best 1-2 punch at running back. So having Gray lifts them to definitely contender status. They might have been, in the top 5 area before, but with Gray, I think they're probably number 3 right now.
Yeah, and I actually wondered if his biggest impact might be, and we'll see how this plays out, but I wonder if his biggest impact is going to be defensively, which is exactly where, based on history, Basha could use, obviously an elite guy, but it could use the help in that sort of defensive backfield when they go against the teams like even a Hamilton or a Chandler, or Centennial is on the schedule this season, schools like that.
Yeah, that's the thing with Basha, is they don't have the same amount of numbers as a team like Hamilton does, so Basha gets these skill guys that are good, and like we saw last year, offensively they were very good. Defensively they had some problems because they just don't have the depth and the numbers. Gray's going to help. I don't know, people will obviously game plan to go away from him. They're going to run to the side of the field he's not on. They're not going to throw at him, so I don't think he's going to have a humongous impact, but kind of be like a Jalen Brown where he can really lock down one side of the field, and which makes it better for the other guys on the team.
Yeah, I see 8-2. I'm not so sure that they can beat Hamilton, and the Chandler game I think is definitely a toss-up. But I like their schedule in the mix of, like I said, people like Centennial and Pinnacle is a pretty good team, and Green Valley, the team in Nevada that they opened with to start the season, we don't really know what we're looking at. So there are a lot of interesting matchups that Bash has given themselves. And I think it's going to help them whether they lose 2 or 3 or even 4 games. I think that schedule is going to be enough to keep them certainly in the top 5, 6, 7 in the power points, which is going to be pretty important come playoff time.
Yeah, it's definitely a really difficult schedule. Like you said, Centennial's on there, Pinnacle, Westview, Hamilton, Chandler. So a lot of tough teams, but I'm going to say 9-1 for Basha. I think having a guy like JT Gray, we don't know too much about him right now because he was at Coolidge. But when Alabama's talking to you, when you've gotten these big-time offers, you're definitely a good player. And to have him at something like running back, I think he's going to have a huge season, and I think he makes them one of the top teams in the state.
Yeah, and watch out for Zach Werlinger back for his senior season at quarterback. Doesn't get a whole lot of attention, but he is good.